Hello students, today we are going to continue with the third part of our second lesson, Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. So let's begin with the first paragraph. In life, every man has twin obligations, obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children. And he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country. In a civil and humane society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. In South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart, a twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. I did not, in the beginning, choose to place my people above my family. But in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. Here in this paragraph, what Nelson Mandela says is that every man has two obligations in his life. Here, obligations means duty, yeah, responsibility. So, the first duty is towards the family, that means to his parents, to his wife, and even to children. At the same time, a man has his obligation towards his community also, okay, to his people and to his country. Then, in a civil and normal society, each man is able to fulfill these two obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. Okay, inclinations means natural tendencies of behavior. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of his birth and color to fulfill both these obligations. In South Africa, if a man of his color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. If a man tried to fulfill his duty towards his community, then he was ripped away. Ripped away means moved away, kept away, pulled away, okay, from his family and his home, and he had to live a life away from his family. Moving on to next paragraph. I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free, free in every way that I could know. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow-moving bulls. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. Here, Mandela admits that in the early days, he did not give any importance to the society. Okay, for him, his family was given the first priority. But later, when he tried to serve his people, he realized that he was prevented by the rules of whites from fulfilling his obligations towards his family. When he began to serve the community, then he was kept away from his family and he was sent to prison for a long period of 27 years. He was not able to fulfill his obligations as a son, brother, father, a husband, because you know that he was in prison, so he could not fulfill his duty towards his family during this period of imprisonment. Next paragraph. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion, when I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. At first, as a student, I wanted freedom only for myself, the transitory freedoms of being able to staying out at night, read what I pleased, and go where I chose. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential, of earning my keep, of marrying and having a family, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. In this paragraph, the author Nelson Mandela did not have the plan to stand against the apartheid system early in his life. During his childhood, he lived like any other normal child in South Africa. He was free to do anything he liked. He could run in the fields near his mother's hut. He had the freedom to swim in the river. He could roast and eat the grains in the fields, etc. Okay, so he was free to do anything. But he had to follow the rules set up by his father as well as his tribe. As soon as he grew up, he began to realize how the people of his color are treated. So he decided to fight against the unjust system of segregation policy. As a student, when he was standing against apartheid system, he wanted to have freedom only for himself. Okay, they were just transitory freedom. Transitory means which is lasting for a short period of time. That means not permanent. So, which means a freedom that lasts for a short time, like freedom for staying out at night, freedom to go anywhere, freedom to read the book which he liked. Okay, all these were the freedom that he desired when he was a student. But in the later period of life, as a young man, he desired to achieve freedom for all the people in Johannesburg. They had to struggle for having a peaceful marriage. So, in Johannesburg, the people had to struggle for having a peaceful marriage, family, and basic necessities in their life. So, they wanted a freedom which is not obstructed or restricted. People wanted to lead a peaceful life without being obstructed of their freedom. Next paragraph. But then I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. I saw that it was not just my freedom that was curtailed, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I did. That is when I joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for my own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. It was this desire for freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self respect that animated my life, that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one, that drove a law abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life loving man to live like a monk. I am no more virtuous or self sacrificing than the next man, but I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. When Mandela realized that the freedom of everyone of his community is snatched away by the white people, he joined the African National Congress Party. After joining this party, he admits that he had the strong desire, the fire within him to liberate his people from the injustice. So it was this fire within him that changed Nelson Mandela completely. How, as a man, from being scared to a brave. So a total transformation took place in Mandela. He was transformed into a brave person. From being scared, from a frightened person, he got transformed into a brave person. And from a law abiding person, or from a lawyer to a criminal, a family loving man to a man without a family, and a life loving man to live like a monk. So, a total transformation took place in the life of Mandela after joining the African National Congress Party. So, Mandela says that he could not even enjoy the restricted freedom when he realized that his people were also not free. According to him, the freedom can't be divided. If any person of his community was on chains, that means if the person was not able to enjoy freedom, then it was meant for all the people of his community. In the same way, if the freedom was taken away from everyone, it was meant that the freedom was taken from the author himself. Let's move on to the next paragraph. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow mindedness. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom, just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me. The oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity. In this concluding paragraph, the author Nelson Mandela mentions that the oppressor, that means whites, and the oppressed must be liberated. Here, oppressed are the black people. According to him, if a man is taking away another man's freedom, he is to be considered as prisoner of hatred, because He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow mindedness. Here, prejudice means strong dislike without any reason. So, by taking away someone else's freedom and making them a prisoner, he becomes a prisoner of biasness or hatred. Thus, the oppressed and the oppressor both are robbed of their humanity. So, both need to be liberated according to Nelson Mandela. So, this is the end of our chapter. Read the lesson well from your textbook. Please message me if you have any doubts in this lesson. Further messages regarding this chapter will be given in the group. So until we meet in the next session, take care. Bye.